the reverse happens. And normally we give him payments or say amounts on behalf of government. So he's quite happy and thrilled to get that amount. So this is really wonderful world that I have experienced from last so many years. And we are today going to have a look on incentives or subsidies for industries. So let's start. What is the basic concept of subsidy? Main purpose was the concentration of all of the industries was located in just some of the few cities, say like Mumbai, which was a hub for textile production, or say like Pune, which were having factories like say Telco or Bajaj, or some of the other cities say like Kolhapur or Nashik. In order to have a dispersal of investment and employment at local level, at rural level, this particular subsidy concept has been introduced with, because in initial phases, industries were not ready to go out of their own cities. So to push them to rural areas or say official areas, this particular subsidy concept was playing a greater balancing role to have this particular leveling field. At the same time, in initial periods, some of the possible businesses were facing issues because they were not in a position to compete with the established players. So in that case, this subsidy part has played also a major role by subsidizing its cost of product or services. It can be a sector specific, zone specific, or gender specific, or even a policy specific. If we are talking about sector specific, we can say just in the subsidies for IT and ITES sector, or say for agri and food processing sector, or say for textile sector. Zone specific, if we are thinking, then it can be rather bifurcated into different zones which the government has decided on the basis of industrialization that has already taken place in that particular zone, which are categorized as A zone, B zone, C zone, D zone, D plus zone, no industries districts, aspirational districts, and Naxalism affected areas. So these are the zones which have been specified by government of Maharashtra, and on the basis of industrialization taking in that particular zone, we can take a benefit. If you are talking about gender specific subsidies, it can be say a common or say general gender, say gents plus ladies, which are having a composition of the board of directors, or say if your partnership firm is having a partners which is consisting of gents as well as ladies, they do have separate benefits under subsidy schemes. And if the all of the directors or say total holding is of the business is held by just ladies only, there can be separate benefit. We can just look on this particular part afterwards. If we are talking about say policy related benefits, then obviously there are certain aims of the government or initiatives of government, say like technology upgradation, on the basis of which government gives subsidies. These subsidies can be given by either central government or different state governments. Almost all of the state governments are offering this kind of subsidies for industrial purposes. And as of now, Telangana is the state which is offering the highest amount of subsidies because that is relatively a new state, not that much developed from industrial point of view. So that particular state is offering the highest amount of subsidies as of now, after Baddi. Okay. So now, what was the basic issue? In Modi 1.0 government, when they have came to power, they have started this Make in India drive with the aim to rather catch particularly manufacturing activities in India, which was once again percolated to each state. And government of Maharashtra has from that particular drive taken a clue, and a new drive for Maharashtra was started in the name of Magnetic Maharashtra, which has attracted numerous amount of or huge amount of investments. There are, as if we are discussing about Maharashtra government's subsidy policies, there are a number of policies which is already being implemented by government of Maharashtra right from 1964. If we think of latest policies, it can be say of 1993, 2001, 2007, 2013. As of now, it is 2019 which is going on. So normally these incentive policies are fixed for say about 5 to 6 years, and on the basis of the benefit has been given or on the basis of industrialization that has taken place, amendments are made in the policy and a new policy is always floated. So as of now, there is a policy which is going on, which is called as PSI 2019, that is Package Scheme of Incentives 2019, which is effective from 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2024. At present, minimum 12 to 14 business related schemes are being operated by Ministry of Industry, Government of Maharashtra. So we will just check out what are those different of types of subsidies or schemes which are being offered. And particularly with the policy of giving a certain specific thrust on certain areas, government has decided different areas which can be called as a thrust areas. So today our focus will be on Government of Maharashtra's Package Scheme of Incentives 2019, Women Entrepreneurship Policy 2017, which we call as WEP, Electronic Policy 2016. Now, which are the items which are eligible for subsidy? This is first of all very important issue. Items those are covered under first schedule of Industrial Regulation and Development Act, and which are the units, those are units which are covered under MSMED Act are entitled to get benefits for this particular subsidy scheme. At the same time, IT manufacturing and BT manufacturing units are entitled. Please note that this is manufacturing unit. So this is not service related industry. So IT is a different one, ITES is a different one, and IT manufacturing is a different one. Mechanized agro and food processing industry, say like dairy, fruits, vegetable processing industries, or grain processing industry, consumer or say packed foods, non-alcoholic beverages which are manufactured from fruits, these industries are covered. And particularly these industries which are covered in primary, secondary or tertiary processing. Now what is meant by primary, secondary and tertiary processing? So suppose if you are rather carrying out activities say like suppose the agricultural produce is taken out of field, then possibly grading, cleaning, sorting, packing, branding, this can be said as a primary activity. Secondary activity we can say as if we are just having processing to some extent of that particular product, say preparation of or say manufacturing of atta from wheat, that can be called as a secondary activity. So in this case, the form of that particular basic product or raw material has changed. And tertiary processing is that one in which we can have a ready to use, ready to eat or ready to consume foods, say like preparation of khakra, papad, or for that matter, any material which is ready on shelf, which we can directly take away to our home and we can consume. So these are the three processes which are covered under this particular subsidy scheme. Now, what is non-eligible? This is also important to know. So all of those items which are covered under intoxicated items, say like beer, liquor manufacturing industries, cigarette, BD, or any other tobacco containing products manufacturing industry, gutka and pan masala manufacturing industry, or any other products which are banned by central or state government, those are not eligible to get subsidy under this particular scheme. As we have just discussed thrust areas, these are the thrust areas which Government of Maharashtra has identified, and the basis for identifying this thrust area is just on 2 points, that these are less polluting one, as well as these are capital incentive, as well as employment intensive. So it can be stated as electric vehicles, which is nowadays rather talk of town as regards to manufacturing and infrastructure of that one. Then aerospace and defense manufacturing is also another area. Industry 4.0, this is upcoming area which covers artificial intelligence, 3D printing, Internet of Things, robotics, and nanotechnologies. Then textile machinery manufacturing, because you are supposed to manufacture looms or say spindles, obviously to rather have a manufacturing of textile. So textile manufacturing, machinery manufacturing is also covered under thrust sector area. Green energy which is generated through windmill or solar or on the basis of sea tides, that is also covered under this particular green energy. Or biofuel production. Nowadays, this is also a talk of town. Biofuel, because on the basis of bio waste, we can create or we can manufacture fuel, that is also covered under thrust sector. Then biotechnology and medical and diagnostic devices. These COVID equipments are covered under medical and diagnostic devices. This is also known as thrust area. Agro and food processing industry, just we have discussed. IT and ITES units are also covered under thrust sectors. electronic systems design and manufacturing, which is called as ESDM, and semiconductor fabrication units, which is called as fab units. So ESDM and fab units are also covered under thrust sectors. Logistics and warehousing, gym and sports equipment manufacturing. These are all thrust sectors which have been identified as thrust sectors by Government of Maharashtra, and special focus has been given to them. At the same time, additional focus industries are women entrepreneurship policy, which is rather with aim to empower women. That is one. Then cluster development scheme. Just recently, say about 5 to 6 days ago, there was one news in Sakar that Government of Maharashtra, or particularly Regional Directorate of Industries in Pune, has identified certain clusters, say like cluster for say toys, or cluster for agricultural processing units, or say for silver related manufacturing units, and those particular industries which are belonging to a particular product are located in one area or one cluster, and a specific 360-degree development is being made in that particular cluster in order to give all types of facilities to them so that business can be grown. So that is a cluster development scheme. Then fintech policy, which consists of financial related world, which is rather operating through technology, say Google Pay or other such kind of platforms can be covered under fintech policy. Ready-made garments manufacturing as well as gems and jewelry manufacturing policy. Textile policy, manufacturing of textiles. So these are the focus industries on which government Government of Maharashtra is rather focusing much more, and benefits particularly to these areas can be given on higher side and at a quicker pace. That is the issue. Now, if we are talking about zone specific incentives, what is the position? So it depends on industrialization that has already been taken in the place in each taluk of Maharashtra. So Government of Maharashtra has divided total our state in 6 divisions, and each division consists about say 5 or 6 districts, and in each of the district what is the position of industrialization in each taluka, that has been already verified and noted, and on that basis they have been categorized in zone A, B, C, D, just we have discussed. So if there are certain areas, say like most industrialized area like Greater Mumbai, Thane, Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad area, there are as of now no benefits for general category. In this case, I would like to just share with you another part, which is related to PMRDA. Just a minute, let me share a PDF copy of that one. Are you able to see this particular chart?
Yes, sir. There is a slide only. There is no chart on the screen.
Yeah. Sorry. This is a slide. Okay, I will just zoom it in.
I don't think new slide is there. It's old one. Incentive zone specific.
No, this is new slide, which in Marathi, which is in PDF.
No, we are seeing a PPT, not PDF.
So should I stop my sharing?
हाँ, screen share stop करके वापस करना पड़ेगा.
Okay. Just. Okay, are you able to see this particular PDF?
We are seeing a map.
Yes, sir. Okay. It is visible now.
So this is a map of Pune district. Okay. Okay, this is the total Pune district. Now the red boundary is covered under PMRDA as per latest guideline. So you can just check out that this is the area which is out of that particular boundary, which is rather entitled to get benefit, and the area which is within the circle or within that boundary is not entitled to get any kind of benefit under this PSI 2019 policy. Because as per government regulation or government calculation, most of the industries industrialization has already been taken in this particular place, which consists of Chakan, PCMC, or say even Shirur, Ranjangaon, or say area up to boundary of our Pune district towards Satara. These are all areas which are covered. At the same time, area up to Lonavala or say which is in part of our Mawad Taluka and Mulshi Taluka, which are totally covered under this particular no benefit area. So we will just go through it quickly. So this is the area of Khed, Taluka Khed. You might be able to see this one. Okay. Mawad fully is in no benefit area. Mulshi in no benefit area. Velle, some of the part is totally out of area, benefit area. Bhor, which is also partial, Bhor is covered under no benefit area. Some of the part of Purandar Taluka as well as Haveli is totally out of benefit area. Daun, partial part is totally in no benefit area and partial part is in benefit area. Why I'm telling you, because if we are looking at particularly A zone, B zone, and what is the status of each taluka in our district, there are certain talukas which are appearing in both columns, in A zone as well as in C zone. So you should be in a position to understand that for particularly say Daun taluka, which are areas or which are the villages which are not covered in benefit area, those will be covered under A category, and those villages which are entitled to have a benefit will be covered under C category. Okay. So we should not get confused as regards to both of the columns this particular taluka is appearing. So this is the basic concept, and we have given over here this particular taluka or area wise classification under PSI 2019 scheme for new and eligible MSME units. So aspirational districts, no industries districts, Naxalism affected talukas, which are those districts and how the benefits are being given has been rather given in a one different PDF, and focus areas have been enlisted over there. Categories under D plus, which are covered under say in Palghar, Raigad, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurga. This is the total which we are covering in this the whole of the Maharashtra, different districts of whole of the Maharashtra. D zone, followed by C zone, followed by B zone, and no benefit area, that is A zone. Okay. So this is the overall breakup of our all of regions, all of areas or talukas throughout Maharashtra. Now I will once again go back to our PPT, because now this will happen that I am shifting in between PPT and PDF. Okay, so we are talking about taluka wise or area wise categorization of districts under PSI 2019. Now, next is classification of units. Now, here is one important issue that recently all of you know that government of India MSME department has changed the definition of MSMEs. But as of now, this particular definition is not applicable to this PSI 2019, because government of Maharashtra was very well aware that in future this kind of definition upward revision of limits is going to take place. So in this particular 2019 PSI scheme, they have specifically stated that the definition of this particular micro, small, medium, special, large, and mega unit will be on the basis of MSMED Act circular, which is issued by Central Ministry on 30th September 2006. So as of now, prevailing or old definition is rather prevailing. So we should take that particular point in our consideration. Till the time government is not, means government of Maharashtra is not specifically issuing this kind of change in revision limit or revised limit related notification, previous limits will be applicable. So obviously, as you know, micro unit will be up to 25 lakhs investment in gross investment in plant and machinery, small unit up to 5 CR, medium up to 10 CR, and fixed capital investment which is less than 50 crore. Now there is one new category, special large unit, which is having FCI above 50 CR, and for large scale unit, which is having limit on the basis of its categorization of zones A, B, C, D, D plus, which is ranging from 100 crore to 750 crore. Now for large unit and mega units, they have given zone-wise fixed capital investment limits, or if you are employing minimum number of direct employment, say of the specified quantity, then you can be covered under large scale or mega unit. Now, what is the eligibility criteria? This is very important. First of all, your unit should be formed. Suppose if it is partnership or say private limited, then obviously you should have executed that partnership deed, and it has been submitted to the rest of firms, and copy of that will be sufficient. If you are having private limited company or limited company, certificate of incorporation will be sufficient. Then whether are you in position of effective position of land with industrial NA order. Suppose if your unit is located outside MIDC, then it must be having industrial NA order. If it is located in MIDC, then there is no need to have a NA order, because government has already rather completed that process, and you are eligible to carry out industrial activities in that area. So you should be in position of a land which with industrial NA order. If it is on rent, it should be at least, means the periodicity of that rent agreement should be at least up to the period of benefit. Say if it is located in C zone, the benefit period which is given to that particular unit is say 7 years. So in that case, that particular rent should be having a periodicity of about say minimum 7 years or 8 years. If it is not, then there should be a clause of automatic renewal of that particular lease or rent agreement once the existing agreements gets over. In case of MSME, new requirements, another additional eligibility criteria is that it must have obtained consent to establish from Maharashtra Pollution Control Board. So this is very important. You must have consent to establish, because nowadays Udyog Aadhar is obtained only, means up to 30th June. Udyog Aadhar was obtained only for the purpose of commencement of production. Means once you have commenced your production, then only you are supposed to get the benefit. You are supposed to register under Udyog Aadhar. Means some of the times it was happening that some parties or some bankers were insisting for those industries which were about to start their production to have Udyog Aadhar, and possibly on the basis of that particular insistence, people were registering themselves under Udyog Aadhar even though they have not started their commercial production. But that was wrong. If you are having a specific commercial production, then only you are supposed to register under Udyog Aadhar. So now this particular Udyog Aadhar requirement is not there as far as eligibility criteria is concerned. So in case of MSME, MPCB consent to establish is important. In case of special large scale industries or mega industries, IEM Part A, which is issued by Ministry of MSME, Ministry of Industries, New Delhi, that is required. In case of IT or biotechnology manufacturing units, letter of intent is required. So these are the minimum documents with which we can check whether your unit is eligible to get benefit or not. Then subsidy is for which assets we can get the subsidy. These are the broader heads which we are discussing. First of all, factory land. If you have purchased factory land, the cost of factory land can be considered. If it is on rent, obviously there is no any amount that you have paid, and you are going to pay monthly rentals. Deposit will not be entitled for benefit under this particular scheme. Factory building. If you are already if you are going to construct your own building, factory building, then it can be covered. The cost of that particular factory building can be covered under this subsidy scheme. It even includes additional facilities, say residential facilities or colonies which have been specifically made for employees who are employed in that particular factory building. That can also be covered. Even your godown, which is within the premises of that particular factory, that can also be covered. Plant and machinery. These are overall those machinery or plant or say tools, jigs, dies, which are rather directly going into for manufacturing of that particular product, can be covered under this particular plant and machinery category. Electrification. In this case, there are two types of electrification, which is first of all, which is general electrification, and second one we can say as a electrification specifically or dedicatedly for machines, say like big cables, switches, or say other panels which are specifically required to run the machine. That is a electrification dedicated to machinery. And general lighting, say lighting in office or passages or general lighting, that is a different category. So electrification which is directly related with manufacturing process
भूख
can
लगी है हाँ तो थोड़े नाश्ता देना लगेगा भूख लगा एकदम पेट भरने स्वत करे ना कि पूरा भरना है ना
Okay, so we're talking about electrification and technical know-how. If we have purchased any technical know-how, then we can get benefit for that one. And if we are generated in our own premises or in our own company, we'll have to prove that what is the cost of that particular development of technical know-how, and on that basis, we can get the benefit. Now, in which form we can get the subsidy? Subsidy is in a two forms basically, which is rather covered under basket benefit and additional benefits. Basket benefit will comprise of four main types of benefits, which is in the form of return of or refund of SGST, then interest subsidy, or tariff subsidy, and stamp duty. We'll just discuss in brief one by one. First of all, we will have to understand the thing that this particular policy has been floated by government of Maharashtra. So while collecting taxes on account of GST as of now, there are three main types of GST taxes. If we are dealing in interstate, we are applying IGST. The whole of that particular part goes to central government kitty. If we are dealing within Maharashtra, then in that case we are applying SGST as well as CGST. Out of that CGST part, part of that amount will go to central government's kitty, and Maharashtra government will get just benefit of SGST only. So whatever part of SGST we have collected in our sales, without netting off of that particular amount through input tax, will get the benefits. So refund of gross SGST. So this is very important, refund of gross SGST for micro, small and medium scale units, or fixed percentage of net SGST in the case of large units. Net SGST means in this case output SGST minus input SGST. So that will be net SGST, and percentage of that, say 60% or 40%, depending on zone, in the case of large units. So this will be the case. So normally it is very beneficial that if your unit is covered under micro, small or medium scale units, you can get refund of 100% of gross SGST on output side. Okay, this is first of all important issue. As far as interest subsidy is concerned, lower of 5% of your subsidy amount or MSCB bills paid during that particular period. Suppose if you are having a term loan, this obviously subsidy is entered for that term loan, which out of which you have acquired the assets at the specific location. So if you have, for your factory premises, you have to rather construct a factory building or to acquire plant and machinery, you have taken a loan from government, any of the bank, scheduled commercial bank. So interest paid on that term loan will be entered under this particular subsidy scheme. Suppose if you are giving interest to the bankers at the rate of say 9.5%. So while paying that particular bank interest, you are acting as a normal borrower. You are paying full amount to the bankers. After completion of that particular financial year, you are supposed to take some certificates in prescribed formats from bankers, and you are supposed to give it to the DIC office or say concerned appropriate authority, and you can claim a benefit of 5% of that. So effectively, you will be paying just 4.5% of interest to the means that will be your outflow. There is one rider in this case, that is a MSCB bill. So if the MSCB bills paid during that particular is lower than 5% of this amount, then obviously lower of these two will be entitled to get the benefit. Because previously it was happening that people were, or say investors were purchased, rather creating some assets like say godowns. They were already taking huge loans on that one. They were paying interests, but those particular premises were not being operated for manufacturing industry or manufacturing activities. So now government has decided to link that particular MSCB bills, because obviously in MSCB bills it will be shown that how much units you have consumed over a particular period. So it is linked that if you are rather using that particular premises for manufacturing activity, then obviously you should consume MSCB units, and on that basis whatever MSCB bill has been raised, lower of these two will be getting the benefit. There is one another benefit, that power tariff subsidy for 3 years. Depending on zones, it can be rather in the form of 50 paisa or 1 rupee power tariff subsidy for 3 years. In this case, obviously, we'll check out what is the total quantity of units that you have consumed during a year. Suppose if during the year you have consumed 30,000 units, so 50 paisa at each unit, you are supposed to get benefit of 15,000 rupees for this particular subsidy. Another benefit under basket subsidy is waiver of stamp duty. If we are about to purchase a land or execute a land deed in the form of, say, lease deed, we are supposed to pay stamp duty. At the same time, if we have taken any kind of term loan, then we are supposed to execute a mortgage deed with the bankers. And at the time of execution of that mortgage deed, we are supposed to pay stamp duty. In both of the cases, this particular stamp duty can be waived off, and which is a part and parcel of this basket subsidy. So these are the main 4 subsidies which are covered under basket subsidy. Additional benefits are in the form of electricity duty exemption for eligible policy period. Suppose if you are, your unit is located in C zone, the eligible policy period is 7 years. So whatever electricity duty has been generated in those 7 years, that will be totally waived off 100% without the without any upper limit of amount. And there are additional various subsidies which are meant for strengthening of MSME sector for expansion projects only, not for new projects. So these are the subsidies which are in 2 forms. For expansion benefit, for expansion units, which are rather carrying out expansion or modernization or diversification products, there are also subsidies which must satisfy all of the following criteria. So first of all is there should be enhancement in capacity, manufacturing capacity, minimum by 25%. So there are 2 stages which they have thought of: pre-expansion and post-expansion. So whatever manufacturing capacity was there in pre-expansion stage, you must have additional 25% or more than that in post-expansion era or post-expansion period. So that is the first of all capacity enhancement criteria. Second one is investment criteria. For MSME, minimum investment is supposed to be of 25 lakhs. For non-MSME, minimum investment should be above 5 crore. For special LSI and large units, it should be minimum 10 crores. And also there is one additional criteria, that there should be minimum enhancement of employment about 10% as compared to pre and post expansion stages. Out of this particular enhanced employment, 80% of total that additional employment should be from local persons only. So this is the overall scenario of our schemes. Now we will go to one specific scheme which is specifically covered under women entrepreneurs, as well as we can just go for a case study also. I'll just close down this screen sharing and I will go for PDF. Okay, are you able to view this particular PDF copy?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, just up till now, any questions for anybody on?
Hello, sir. Priyanka here.
Yeah, Priyanka, please.
So basically, sir, when you said for this Maharashtra scheme, SGST basically, so net SGST means, so whatever I am paying via cash, on that I'll get the benefit, right?
No, mode of payment is not important. This is
So,
output SGST minus input SGST. That is net SGST.
okay.
Are you getting me? Means is
Okay,
matter clear?
I got it. The output minus input. So for example, if my output is 100 and input I have 50, so whatever the net 50 rupees I'm paying, on that I'll be getting the benefit.
Yeah, also in percentages, certain percentage means not the whole of the amount of net SGST. Say 60% of net SGST. So in that case, 60% of rupees 50, which is balance fund. So effectively it will come to 30 rupees.
Okay, so basically it will be like that only, na? The input will be the credit. So basically outward liability minus the credit. So the rest remaining I'll be paying in cash. So whatever I pay in cash, I'll be getting benefit on that only. So this is what I
This is very
wanted to ask.
important. This is very important that Priyanka has raised. Uh, I would like to clarify that at this particular stage, that there is a different mechanism for our GST liability that we are paying to the bankers, and there is a different mechanism of calculation for this subsidy schemes. Even though subsidy schemes are calculated on the basis of GST related issues, but the mechanism is not the same. Please note it. While
Okay.
paying our GST liability, we are normally deducting our inputs from our output, and we are paying the remaining amount. Okay, that is the concept under GST, basic concept. And in this particular case, for MSME, for micro, small, and medium units, you can benefit at the rate of 100% of gross just output SGST. There is no deduction. There is no any deduction which is supposed to be deduct amount, means no input should be deducted from your SGST. So if your sale is say to the extent of 1 crore, and if your rate of that particular product is say 18%, you have collected tax at the rate of 18 lakhs. Just you are entitled to get the benefit of rupees 18 lakhs without deducting any amount of input out of that. So this is applicable in the case of say micro, small, and medium enterprises. Okay, and for large scale or special large scale cases, you are supposed to deduct input out of that output. Means this is only about SGST. We are not talking about CGST or
CGC.
IGST.
Yeah,
So
right.
whatever it is there, and out of that, at the prescribed percentage, say 40%, 50%, 60%, depending on zones. So
Okay.
on that basis, the large units or special large units can get benefit in prescribed manner. So this is the minor but important difference in calculation system of GST as well as PSI subsidy benefits.
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
Any other issue so that we can proceed further?
No, I don't have any. We can proceed further, sir.
Yeah, anyone else who is having some query? Okay, now we will come to women entrepreneurship policy. This is very important policy, which is rather not rather we can say given attention by even policymakers, or this is not known to the public also. Okay. Now this is particularly policy which the period of applicability is 14th-12/2017 to 30th-12/2022. Which are the units covered under this particular scheme? Just like we have discussed MSMED units as well as units which are eligible under PSI 2019 scheme, those are covered. Main issue is that which is the eligibility criteria. So it should be the 100% ownership in the business shall be held by women entrepreneurs only. So in the case of proprietorship, obviously 100% capital by lady proprietor, we can introduce unsecured loan through her individual account. Okay, so as far as possible, there shouldn't be any unsecured loan in proprietorship firm itself. It can be routed through her personal account. For partnership firms, 100% capital that should be held by only ladies partners. There shouldn't be even a single managing partner who is a gents. Okay. Cooperative, in the case of cooperative society, 100% capital contribution only by ladies and form under prevailing cooperative act. Private limited or public limited company. In this case, there is a twist. 100% capital contribution only by ladies. At the same time, means shareholding should be held only by ladies. At the same time, all of the directors should be ladies. That is important because many times there may be a case that a gents is rather having directorship without holding any shareholding. So it may be the case, but that shouldn't be the point over here. Otherwise, there is quite a distinct possibility that your case may be disqualified. In the case of self-help groups, Swayam Sahayata Bachat Ghats, registered self-help groups satisfying as stated in point number 3 and 4 above is means 100% membership as well as capital contribution should be by ladies. Another important part is minimum 50% of total employees as employed in said eligible unit should be women employees. This is very important. How we can verify that minimum 50% of the total employees are ladies employees is the case that in that case you are supposed to, your unit is supposed to have a PF registration under Provident Fund, and you should be regularly filing those Provident Fund challans in which you are saying that suppose I am having 20 overall 20 persons with me or 20 employees with me, out of which 12 are ladies and 8 are gents. So in that way, I am saying that minimum 50% criteria has been met with. So this is the very important issue. If this particular criteria is not satisfied, you are disqualified. So 50% not on the basis of just declaration, but on the basis of your PF challans is very important. Okay. Now, what are the additional benefits that we can get? Because what are benefits we can get under PSI 2019 scheme? Obviously, those are there. But in addition to that, we can get some additional benefits. So new as well as expansion benefits under WP projects can be covered under over here. Say for group A and B, means I'm talking about zones. Zones means this taluka wise categorization as we have just discussed. For group A and B, in normal course, we don't have any benefit. But for WP projects, which are under, which are meant only for empowering women, we can get cash benefit. This is capital subsidy, cash capital subsidy of 15% for A and B zone, which is maximum restricted to up to 20 lakhs. For group C, it is at the rate of 15% at the same 20 lakhs. For group D units, it will be 20% at the rate of 20% subject to maximum 25 lakhs. For D plus 25% subject to maximum 50 lakhs. And for other talukas and regions in the state, it will be at the rate of 35%, which will be up to 100 lakhs or 1 CR. Okay. This particular cash subsidy will be disbursed over a period of 5 years in equal installments. So in each year, you can get that particular subsidy. Then whatever subsidies can be received by your unit under different departments of central government or state government. This is a very important catch, because many times it happens that a particular project, say in agro sector or say other particular electronic sector, they are entitled to get benefit under this PSI 2019 as well as under different applicable schemes of central government or state government. So government has given an overall cap that eligible units which are entitled to various incentive subsidy schemes as offered under different departments of central government or state governments. The limit has been capped to 50% of the eligible fixed capital investment made by WP unit. So you can't get above 50%. So even though here is 35%, suppose if under any particular policy, you are entitled to get 25% of the amount under this capital subsidies heading. So overall will be 60%, 35 plus 25. So in that case, the amount will be capped to only 50%. So this is important issue. Then all of the basket benefits are also entitled for this WP units. However, there is one important benefit that in A zone, we are not supposed to get any benefit for non-WP benefit, but for WP benefit units, we can in either A zone or B zone, we can get benefit of 40% of your FCI, fixed capital investment, and that is for 7 years. If any WP unit in A or zone area is carrying out any expansion, in that case, they can get 80% of this entitled benefit, which is rather reserved for new units. So in the case of units which are WP units located in AB zone, 40%, in C zone 60%, in D zone 60%, D plus 100%. Okay, so this is the case for ladies specific units. This particular fact is not known to number of chartered accountants as well as number of unit holders. Okay, so suppose I'm having my factory in Andheri MIDC, or say for that purpose in Gultekadi MIDC, Gultekadi Industrial Estate, or say Kaka Halwa Industrial Estate, oppose Adinath Industry. Can I get benefit? Yes, if your unit is covering this particular criteria that it is WP unit, you can get benefit of minimum 40% for 7 years if it is a new unit. And if it is expansion unit, you can get benefit of 32%, 80% of the amount of benefit that has been entitled to new unit. In addition to this, as a thrust sector that we have just discussed, if you are having any agricultural or food processing unit or eligible green and biofuel manufacturing industry or industry carrying out industries 4.0 activity, that is nanotechnology, robotics, or say artificial intelligence, 3D printing related, you can get additional 20% benefit. This is very important, with additional 2 years to consume the benefit. So suppose if I am having my unit of say manufacturing of khakra, chutney, or like these things in say Pune city, I can get benefit of 60%, and that too for 9 years. And suppose if I am installing a new plant, which is rather on barren plot, suppose the cost of that plot plus building plus machinery plus electrification goes to say 7 CR. Okay, I will be entitled to get benefit up to 60% of this total investment. So this is very important issue that possibly most of the CS are also not aware. At the same time, total FCI cap has been pegged to 50 crore. This is very important. As we have discussed, what can be covered under basket benefit, obviously the industrial promotion benefit in the form of 100% refund of gross SGST interest subsidy. In this case, whatever we have discussed for normal PSI scheme, they have given additional rider benefit in this case, double of the amount of electricity bills paid during the period, whichever is lower. So in PSI, it was just at the rate of 100% of this electricity bills, but in this case, it will be 200% of the amount of electricity bills paid during the period. Okay. Then third important issue in this case, excuse me, is as regards to power tariff benefit. For C zone, we can get benefit of only 50 paisa in non-WP benefit, non-WP units. For WP units, we can get benefit at the rate of 1 rupee per unit. Okay, and that should be up to 5 years from the date of commencement of your commercial production. However, for those units which are located in Vidarbha, Marathwada, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurga, North Maharashtra, no industries districts, Naxalism affected areas, and aspirational districts, benefit will be at the rate of 2 rupees per unit consumed for 5 years from the date of from the month of commencement of production. So here is enhancement of amount of benefit to WP units. Additional benefits that we have just discussed, electricity duty exemption benefit is there, as well as there are certain additional benefits which are for expansion projects. 5% subsidy on additional capital equipment for acquired for technology upgradation subject to maximum 25 lakhs. 75% subsidy on expenses incurred on quality certification up to 1 lakh, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the main benefit that a person can get. So suppose sometimes your investor or your client may ask that whether am I able to get some benefit in Pune district or say Pune city. You can say yes, you can get benefits subject to following these particular criteria. If you are rather fulfilling these criteria, yes, you can certainly get the benefits. In the same way, if we are having our unit in the sector of electronic items, manufacturing of electronic items, in that case also unit located in Pune city or in A or B zone can get benefits. So it is very important that which are the sectors or which are the industries that can be entered benefit under A or B zone. We can just check it out. And primarily these are the two basic subsidies: women entrepreneur subsidy as well as electronic items manufacturing subsidy, which are covered under A and B zone also. Now, once again, I would like to switch over with other point. Now, I will show you one process, means how we are going to get certificates. There are 3 stages in which we are being eligible to get or consume this benefit. Are you able to see this particular PDF?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. This is a rather what we can say as live EC. This is one of my party, which was in Khed Taluka, which has got this eligibility certificate under this previous PSI 2019 13 scheme. Okay, we can just go through it. So what this is the issued by Government of Maharashtra Directorate of Industries. Okay, this is eligibility certificate, which states name of the party, its address of eligible industrial units. Suppose if you are having 2 units, 3 units, out of those 3 units, which is the eligible unit for which this particular benefit has been given has been stated over here. Office address, details of registration. Now this was previously industrial license. Now in between there was Udyog Aadhar, and from 1st July 2020 now there will be Udyam registration. Now there will be a list of products for which means your finished products for which benefit has been given. Okay, so these are the products which are manufactured by the illegal industry. You are supposed to specifically mention those uh, products as per your NIC codes. You might be well aware about NIC codes. Then also you are supposed to give exhaustive list of your raw material required, which has been given in Annex A and Annex B. Please note that these products, what you are going to mention in this particular EC is very important from the point of view of assessment of your sales tax or GST related cases, because these cases are treated as a PSI. These cases are called as a PSI cases in say sales tax department or GST department, and in each year it is a mandatory for all of the units to have their assessment. So while carrying out that particular assessment proceeding, officer will specifically check out whether those items of finished products which has been entitled to you by EC, only those have been given a benefit or not. Suppose you have mentioned about say 6 items in your this particular product. I will just show you Annex A so that it will be clear. This is Annex A, in which we have mentioned our items as plastic rolls and plastic articles. This is very vast area. Means we can cover anything under plastic articles in this particular category. Okay, and capacity has been given along with its measurement unit. Suppose if I am specifically giving, say, like in the case of automobile unit, shafts or cranks or say brakes, like these things have been given over here. Okay, and now if I would like to have some press part material which is not covered under that particular category, and if I am selling that particular item down the line, say after 3 years of obtaining this particular EC, and I'm getting benefit for that one also, means I'm claiming my benefit, then I'm not entitled to get benefit since that particular new item has not been covered under this Annex A or list of products which are mentioned in EC. So you should at the time of applying your this particular proposal or this application, while applying, you should have a very broader view as regards to what the unit is going to produce over a period of say next 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. You can just add it up. It is not necessary that you must produce all of the items. It is just you wish to produce those items. That is the thing. If you are not going to produce, no harm. But if there is no mentioning of that particular item which now you are going to produce, then either you should get it added from DIC or concerned authority, or you should not claim benefit on that particular product. So it is very important to mention your exhaustive list of finished products. Okay. Now we will come to capital cost. So this is the cost of items that has been already declared by unit that we are going to rather invest this much amount in our project. So land will be costing, means as per the initial projections, land cost was supposed to be 3 crores, building 13 crores, plant and machinery 990 crore, 9.90 crore, electricals 3 crores, intangible assets, miscellaneous fixed assets, and so on. Okay, so total cost was supposed to be of 31.50 CR. Now, what was the investment that has been actually made and accepted by department from the period to so and so period? Okay, so land cost as per actuals was 296.17, which is lesser than this one. Please note, at all point of times, your projection should be on higher side as compared to your actual investment. Otherwise, lower of these two will be granted as a benefit. Suppose in other way around, suppose the cost of land would have been just 250 and actual investment would have been 296.17. In that case, I would get benefit of only 250, means lower of these two. So at any point of time, we will have to keep in mind that our projection should be on higher side than actual investment that is going to take place. Now building, this was the actual investment 982.1, plant and machinery, electricals, and so on and so forth. Less, less creditors which are unpaid till the time of execution or assessing this particular project towards our acquisition of those above fixed assets. So whatever our creditors might be there, which are outstanding, means not paid till the time of this completion of EC, those were 11 lakh 70,000, 11 lakh and 7,000. So after deducting this particular amount from my total investment actually made, this is my eligible amount to get benefit. Now on this part, on the basis of my zone, because my area is covered under Khed Taluka. Now Khed Taluka is covered under C zone. So C zone is entitled to get benefit at the rate of 40%. So 40% of this one, I'm entitled to get benefit, and that comes to rupees 859.41 lakh. Say 8.59 crore. That is my benefit that I'm going to get over a period of 7 years. So my in each year, I'm supposed to get benefit at the rate of 1.2277 lakh. Sorry, CR means 1 crore 22 lakhs in each year. This is maximum ceiling cap which has been given on per year basis to me. Okay. This EC also states which is my date of commencement of my commercial production. What is the date of effect of the EC? So obviously the month following this particular date of production. So in this case, it is 1/10/2015. This is important one. So after September, this is October 1. From 1st October, this is effected. Now, what is the period of making admissible investment? This is very important. You are supposed to declare, means an investor or entrepreneur is rather supposed to declare from which date or from which month his investment has started to take place. Okay, and from that period for MSME, that is micro, small and medium units, you are entitled to get a time period or time frame of about 3 years to make admissible investment, and that cost of investment should be covered under this particular projection. Okay, so suppose if I am saying that my investment as on today is 980.10, but possibly it may happen that during after commencing my first phase, or after down the line, say after 6 months or say 1 year, I might check out the possibility that I should construct additional part of my building, and possibly it may take a cost of about say 3 CR. So this is 982 or say 101 or say 10 CR that has been used for first phase, and additional 3 crores can be used for second phase, and the total cost of projection of that particular building cost is 13 CR. So whatever additional investment that you are going to make over a period of next 3 years from the date of declaring of your starting of investment period can be covered over here, and you can show it under projections. And on the basis of actual investment, you are going to get the benefit. So this is the thing. For large scale or special large scale, you can have a period of 4 years, which can be a period of admissible investment. Now, operative period. This is also very important because we are going to follow these many different terms and conditions which has been imposed through this EC on us by government of Maharashtra, that you should not transfer your assets, you should not change your constitution without the permission of government or this particular authority, and so on and so forth. Because many times it has been observed by government that in previous periods, unit has taken benefit and they have rather been disappeared immediately after they have taken the whole of the benefit. So to check out these malpractices, government has now given so many number of conditions that you are supposed to comply with, and for how many years. So this is the operative period. For these many years, you are supposed to comply those conditions. So in this case, from 1st October 2015, which was starting point of our date of effect of EC, till 30th September 2029, say for about 14 years. So for first 7 years, you are supposed to get the benefit, and for next 7 years, you are supposed to give assurance to the government that you are not going to close down that unit, and you will run that unit in normal course, and you will be giving taxes on those particular products which are being manufactured in that industry or at that location. So this is a kind of assurance, and you are supposed to file your annual returns and all of the reportings till this particular date to government of Maharashtra. So this is called as operative period. So it is very important. So if you are having a one client with you, then you are supposed to have your practice at least for 14 years. So this is a good side of it. So these are the different terms and conditions, which are standard terms conditions. And if you are, there is one clause that if you are breaching any of these conditions, then we can just check out this particular part. During the operative period of agreement, means those 14 years, what you are supposed to do? You are not supposed to sell or otherwise dispose of or lease, hire, shift, remove, transfer, alienate in any manner with or without consideration any of the fixed assets of the eligible unit. Suppose you are transferring that asset from C zone to A zone, that is not allowed. Right of keep the fixed assets in disuse without writing them off. Close the unit or shift the unit wholly or in part from its existing location to any other location. Change or alter it the constitution, management, constituents comprising the ownership of the eligible unit. Where the eligible unit is owned by a limited company, cooperative society, or so and so, it shall not merge or amalgamate with any other limited company or like constitution. These all things you can do with only permission of concerned authority. Means there is no any blanket bar. There is means a mechanism through which you can get the consents. But obviously for that purpose, before executing any of these activities, you are supposed to apply to the government with your claim, means to substantiate your argument that I am going to do this, I am going to sell off because I am going to purchase new machine with higher capacity with modern technology and likewise. And in that case, on satisfaction of their on satisfying, they can give you consent in writing, and on after getting that particular consent, you can go for changing or taking any this particular action in this regard. One important part is there that if you are going to breach any of the condition over there, then you are supposed to pay back the whole of the benefit at the rate with interest at the rate of 50% per annum, and this claim will be treated as arrears of revenue. So in extreme cases, they may even cover that amount as a arrear of revenue through revenue department. So this is the issue, and government wants a strict watch on the benefits or say subsidy that has been allotted to you, that you are using genuinely for that purpose for which you have been given this particular benefit. Okay, this is the part. Now after obtaining, this is very crucial certificate. After obtaining this certificate, we are supposed to approach to GST department as well as to electricity department. On approaching this GST department, they will verify whereabouts of your unit. They will check whether you do have any pending say amount with them in the form of say appeal or say any areas which are pending towards that particular entity. If there is no any such kind of thing, they may not, in normal course they will have a just physical verification of your unit, and they will issue identification certificate to your unit. So second certificate is, which is important, is identification certificate. I will just show you identification certificate copy also. In the case of this unit only, we have got this identification certificate, which is issued by Joint Commissioner of State Tax Administration. This is Palghar Division, Bhayandar, which is issued just recently on 16th of June 2020, which consists of the same all details: name of the unit, address for which benefit has been given, constitution, finished goods, description of raw material, eligibility certificate number, and amount of industrial promotion subsidy 859.41 lakhs. Then validity period, PC period 7 years, starting from so and to so and so. Scale of unit, this is medium scale industry. TIN number as well as GSTN number of the party. This is identification number that I was just talking about. And the officer who has issued this particular and his designation who has issued this certificate. So there is no any new thing. All of the matters has been taken only from eligibility certificate, but this is a process that we are supposed to cover or we are supposed to execute. So this is the thing. And the next part is we are supposed to also at the same time approach to electricity duty department of electricity division of concern area, and from them we can get benefit of exemption of electricity duty for a period of say 7 years if our unit is located in C zone, or up to the period as has been entered in each zone to that respective unit. So in normal course we are supposed to get three certificates. First of all, LFD certificate, second one identification certificate, and third one electricity duty exemption certificate. On getting all of these three certificates, our unit is entitled, or we can say that is fully entitled to get the whole of the benefits that has been entitled under that particular EC. So this is the case. Anybody is having any question up to this now? Because afterwards I will just quickly go through another case how benefit can be calculated. It seems that there is no any specific query in this regard. Okay. Mahavir, do we have time?
Yes, sir. Lockdown is there.
अरे भाई ब्रेकफास्ट भी करना है. Okay, I will show you one comparative study of benefits for those units which are covered under medium scale, small scale or medium scale, and units covered under large scale. This was, please have a note that this particular comparison was made in 2000 as per 2013 scheme and not as per 2019 scheme, but still it is valid as of now also. This comparison is for a new unit, not for a expansion unit, and units located in C group talukas, not in A, B or D plus taluka. So on the basis of these parameters, this particular comparison has been made. Suppose cost of investment in land is same in both of the cases. Okay, 11 lakhs, 30 lakhs. Now in this case, as per previous definition of our investment in plant and machinery, for medium scale unit, maximum investment was supposed to be up to 10 CR. So my investment in under medium scale in plant and machinery is set to the extent of 9 CR. And if I'm making one additional investment of 1 CR, then I will be converted into large scale. So this is the case. It is 9.5 CR, and in this case it is 10.5 CR. Otherwise, all of the other investments are same. Electrification 2 lakhs or whatever it is. Other assets 7.5. Total investment is say 60 CR, or in this case is 61 CR. So what are the eligible assets in this case? Obviously, these are not the assets which are eligible, because these are other assets, say in the form of furniture, office equipment, vehicles. These are not directly related with manufacturing activity. So only those activities which are directly related with manufacturing activity in the form of land, building, machinery, and electrification are entitled to get benefit. So excluding this 7.5 CR, out of this my 60 CR, my eligible investment to get benefit will be 52.5 CR. Okay, so this will be the position in the case of medium, and in the case of large it will be 53.5 CR. Now what is the benefit of amount, percentage of benefit that I am entitled for each category? For small or medium it is 40%, for large it was 30%. So first of all, there is difference of 10 lakhs, 10%. So PSS subsidy amount can be, in this case for medium, it can be 21 CR on the basis of 40% of 52.5. It can be 16.05 on the basis of 30% subsidy on 53.5. Okay, so there is a difference in net amount that we are entitled to get benefit. Another benefit was interest subsidy benefit. Okay, now in that case, this particular benefit is allowed for small or medium scale industries. In 2013 scheme, it was not allowed for large scale unit. So interest, I was deprived of getting any kind of interest benefit lower of 5% or electricity bills in the case of large scale, but for medium scale, I was allowed to get benefit. As far as electricity duty benefit is concerned, I was entitled to get benefit in both of the cases. So now apparently there is one big difference that in small or medium scale we can get the higher amount of benefit. But this is just one apparent difference. Main part is as regards to how you are supposed to consume that benefit. That is very important. Means the way in which or the formula which has been prescribed for small and medium scale units for consuming subsidy benefit, as well as the formula which has been given for large scale benefit, large scale units. We'll just check it out. What is the position? So suppose now we are taking one illustration of a GST consumption benefit. There is the breakup of total sales within Maharashtra, sales within India but out of Maharashtra, means what we can call as OMS sale. This is export sale. So sale within Maharashtra was 1 lakh, sale out of Maharashtra was 1,50,000 and export sale was 50,000. So total sale was 3 lakhs. Now my rate of item is 28%, SGST 14%, CGST 14%. So tax breakup is, say, on 1 lakh rupees of sales of this Maharashtra sale, for SGST 14,000, for CGST 14,000. So total 1,28,000. OMS sale 1,50,000, tax at the rate of IGST tax at the rate of 28%, 42,000. So overall 1,92,000, and export sale without any GST 50,000. So this is the total overall breakup. Now, as compared to my purchases, within Maharashtra purchases are 60,000, OMS purchases 50,000, imports 40,000. So overall purchases are, say, 1,50,000. In the same way, tax breakup is there. For purchases within Maharashtra, SGST 40%, on 60,000, 14%, 8,400, CGST 8,400, IGST on 50,000 of OMS purchases, 14,000, on import, no GST. So this is the overall position. Now, if I am a small or medium scale industry, in that case, my benefit, as we have just discussed, is at 100% of this SGST, which is rather on output side, gross SGST. So if for that is a small or medium scale benefit industry, I can get 100% output SGST at the rate of 14,000, means that is 14,000. For large scale unit, it is SGST output less SGST input, that is 14,000 minus 8,000, which is 5,600, and 60% of net liability, it comes to 3,300. So if I am just crossing my investment in plant and machinery by 1 crore, what am I supposed to get on annual basis is directly my benefit will be reduced, or my receipts will be reduced from 14,000 to directly 3,360. That is one of the biggest loss that I will incur on the basis of this particular increase in investment in plant and machinery. And at the same time, this benefit which is entitled to me over a period of, say, 7 years, that will also get reduced. So these are the two important issues which we should keep in mind. Now, as and when application of new definition, upward revised definition will be made applicable by government of Maharashtra, there may be some changes. But overall, in nutshell, this is the scheme that we should think of. And we can say, what are the takeaways of this particular webinar? Can we have a subsidy in A and B zones? Yes, we can have, subject to following those specific rules. At the same time, are those subsidies really receiving? Means, are the units in a position to receive these subsidies? Yes, these are getting, we are rather facilitating this kind of subsidies to number of units from last so many years. And once it has been rather approved by government authorities, then yes, you will get it. Only the point is that time factor. It may take some additional time. So in normal course, what happens? Your total year is completed, financial year is completed, then you are supposed to have your regular audits, say company audit or say tax audits, GST audits, and all of your audit reports are prepared. After completion of those reports, you are supposed to file your claims on the basis of those documents. And while filing those documents, normally one full financial year has already lapsed, means after completion of that financial year. After submission of your claim, you are supposed to rather follow the officers and get those claims processed at their end, so that if there is any deficiency, those deficiencies can be covered up and you will be entitled to have a benefit. At this particular time or at this particular stage, you are entitled to, suppose in this case, you are supposed to get benefit of 14,000 rupees, or say whatever amount is entitled to you. the whole of the amount is not being rather approved to you in first stage, because they have rather mentioned, or they have set such a kind of stage-wise system that in first stage you are supposed to get 85% of the entitled amount as a subsidy, and the balance 15% will be given to you after your submission of sales tax uh, sales tax assessment order of that particular year. So that assessment order will say that what is the amount of what is the pending amount, and if there is any pending amount, whether you have paid it or not, or if there is any issue, whether you have preferred any appeal or against the sales tax order or not. So what it may be, it will be just shown through your sales tax order, or on the basis of your other arguments, and on satisfaction that the whole of the amount has been paid by you to the department, balance 15% will be released. So it will be released in two stages, 85% and 15%. So this is the process. As far as electricity duty exemption is concerned, just a minute, I have just diverted. Now, on submission of this particular claim, we'll get submission approval letters from department in two stages. Then these claims will be accumulated and this will be forwarded to the head office, Mumbai. So in each month, water claims have been approved by all of the district centers, because all of the districts in Maharashtra do have, or all of the districts in overall India do have a district industry center located at the place of their district. So all of the districts in Maharashtra will be reporting to their head office in Mumbai that in that particular month, how many cases they have approved. And this total accumulation of claims will be made at head office, and on the basis of funds which are being allocated by Finance Ministry of Government of Maharashtra to Industry Ministry, these benefits will be allocated directly to your party's bank account. So amount will be rather allocated by Ministry of Finance, say 10 crore, 15 crore, depending on the amount of requirement that has been made by Ministry of Industry in each month. Those funds will be diverted from Finance Ministry to Industry Ministry, and Industry Ministry will issue it in your bank account. So this is the process of your claims. Now, if we are talking about electricity duty exemption, in that case, whatever duty you have paid through your bills, it can be, first of all, till the time it is getting sanctioned, it will be reimbursed to you through your bills. That up to the matching of that amount, you are not supposed to pay any bills. Suppose, excuse me, suppose you have rather till the time you have started your commencement of commercial production, and the benefit of this particular electricity duty is sanctioned to you. A time has gone up to say 36 months or say 3 years. So water electricity duty has been paid during those 3 years out of overall period of 7 years. The benefit can be given to you in the form of adjustment of bills, means forthcoming bills through MSB payment. So once you are getting that particular sanction, that within 36 months, suppose you have paid electricity duty to the extent of 4 lakhs. So till the time that 4 lakhs are not totally zeroed out, water bills might be generated for next period, or say from for say 37 month, 38th month, 39th month, it will be totally raised on the basis of just zero amount, because till that amount of 4 lakhs, which is arrear, is not being settled off. And once that particular total amount gets totally settled, then for the whole of the next period, you are not and rather charged any kind of electricity duty in your forthcoming bills till completion of your benefit period. So this is the overall case of electricity duty exemption benefit. There are also another schemes also, which are specifically for sector related issues, say like fintech policy or gems and jewelry policy. But this PSI 2019 policy or PSI policy is a mother policy of all of the policies. And depending on government views or government preferences, their priorities, they are rather drawing up or issuing this kind of sector specific policies, which are once again connected or related with this PSI policy. As far as particularly categorization of taluka or categorization of area is concerned, or say for particularly definition of MSMEs and like things. So we should be rather going through this PSI 2019 policy thoroughly to have a proper knowledge or while executing all of other policies also. So this is my presentation. If you have got any other questions or any queries, you are most welcome. And thank you, JCA platform, for giving me this opportunity to rather present my presentation on my passionate subject. Thank you.
Rekha, you want to ask any question?
Yes, sir. So, sir, as you said that this PSI scheme is the mother of all incentive schemes. So I wanted to ask that if I opt PSI scheme, can I still be able to opt in some other scheme as well? Like, for example, if I now you took these two, women empowerment scheme and this PSI. So if I opt into PSI scheme, will I still be able, if the criteria I am falling into eligible criteria, still will I still be able to take benefit of this women empowerment also, or I just have to stick to one scheme only?
You have to stick to only one scheme, and if that is a sector specific scheme, then obviously you are supposed to get additional benefits in that particular sector specific scheme or gender specific scheme. So obviously whatever rather benefits have been given in PSI, you will get additional benefits in WEP or say in electronic policy. So you should stick to only one policy, and normally we are going for that policy in which we are getting higher amount of benefits.
Okay, so I can't take benefit into both
No.
the schemes.
No.
Yes, so I'll have to stick. No, for example, like for the SEMSIP scheme also for electronics. So if I take benefit into which is central scheme, a central government scheme.
No, this is state government scheme I'm talking about. This is
Yeah,
very good issue. This is very good issue that I would just like to interrupt you, Priyanka, for a minute.
yes.
Even central government is also issuing or floating this kind of schemes, industrial schemes or subsidy schemes. Just recently, Government of India has issued electronic policy scheme for all of the applicable units. Second thing, they have also issued a scheme for manufacturing of bulk drugs or say chemicals, and this is with a view to counter our inflow or say inward flow of this particular API they are calling pharmaceutical intermediates or KMP, key management products, which we were importing hitherto from China. So in order to counter that particular flow, Government of India has given this particular issued this particular scheme for pharmaceutical as well as chemical sector. At the same time, there are different types of schemes also. You might be aware about CLCSS scheme, Credit Linked Capital Subsidy Scheme. Up to 15 lakhs SSI unit or small scale industry unit can get benefit. So all of these in these particular subsidies, which are rather offered by a central government, are different one, but possibly there might be clause that exclusivity you can't maintain. Means you can you can take benefit of either one of the scheme. There may be such kind of clause or overall ceiling of 50% that just we have discussed about. So this can be the, but the electronic policy that I'm talking about was only policy issued by Government of Maharashtra.
Okay.
Which is related with PSI 2019 scheme.
Okay.
So in that scheme, PSI 19, in that sense, PSI 19 scheme is a mother policy of all of the policies which are issued by Government of Maharashtra, not of central government.
Okay. Got it. So even if I opt, for example, if I opt for some central government scheme, and then still then I'll have to stick over there only. And that basically I'll have to take benefit from that scheme only. I cannot then opt for PSI scheme as well.
No, we'll have to check out what is the exact product and what particular modalities of that scheme says. So just as we have checked out in central government in WP, we can even opt for central government and state governments other department subsidy schemes also. But ceiling has been capped at 50% of the total FCI.
Okay.
So we'll have to check out. Means there is no any blanket ban. There is no such kind of thing. But we will have to check out which is the product and what particular modalities of that scheme belonging to that product says.
Okay, so basically the terms and conditions as such, we'll have to check if they permit us to allow to take benefit from some other scheme as well, or they are just like you have to give declaration that you're not taking benefits from some other schemes also. So I guess that way.
Surely.
Yes. Okay, got it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question, please?
Santosh sir,
Yes, Tushar.
Santosh sir, there's one question that you said that the incentive or that subsidy is say 5% or it is limited to the MSME bill, that is
Mhm.
electricity bill paid by the unit. But if then some unit has installed solar power unit and the electricity consumption is lower, then what will happen in that particular case?
Solar power. Now, in this case, there are two types of usages, we can say. It can be a captive consumption of that particular energy which is being generated by that solar power, or that energy can also be sold out.
Yes.
Okay. So there are two different usages of that power which has been generated. If it is a part of your total plant and machinery for captive power consumption, then it can be covered. Investment in solar power can be covered under this particular project. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if we are using that power for the purpose of sale, say like just Pravran Nagar is having their own distribution network. Okay. Or in Mumbai, Reliance do have their own network.
Hmm.
Okay. And this particular power is being used for sale purpose. Obviously, some of the part of might be used for captive consumption also, but major part is used for sale purpose. Then that particular product, we'll have to check out whether that particular product is eligible to get benefit under this scheme. And that generation of electricity is not covered under this particular scheme. It was earlier covered under power generation scheme, which was prevalent in previous days. As of now, I don't think it is prevailing. We'll have to check out because nowadays MEDA is not allowing rather PPA, power purchase agreements. MEDA means Maharashtra Electrical Development Authority, which is having their office at Eroda. They are not having or they are not allowing to execute such kind of PPAs with private power generators because now they are having surplus capacity of power with them, and possibly it happens that their power is also not getting sold, so it is rather of no any use and it can't be stored. Rather, it is very expensive to store generated power. So MEDA is not allowing such kind of power purchase agreement with private parties. So I don't think that now that power generation policy, subsidy policy is in prevalence. We'll have to just check it out. But if we are talking about this particular PSI 2019 for solar power energy, no, we are not covered under this particular scheme.
No, sir, my question is that there is a manufacturing unit and it has installed solar power unit
Yeah. If it is a power
for
captive power
captive
consumption,
consumption, for captive consumption.
yes, it can be covered as a part and parcel of your total plant and machinery.
Yes, yes.
Because that is not only the machine or that is not only the investment that can be covered under this particular
No,
project.
this is a part of that
Yes.
entire machinery.
Yes, 100%, 100%, 100%.
Maybe because of the installation of that power solar power system, your
But
subsidy may get reduced because your electricity bill
yes,
will
yes,
get reduced with that effect.
that was a particular question.
Yeah, to some extent it will get reduced because electricity duty refund will be rather low to that extent. But basic investment cost of that solar power plant will be quite huge one. So overall, you will be in a gaining position. If you are calculating all of the things, then you will be in a gaining position that by installing that solar power plant and by taking benefit, you can get higher amount of subsidy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question?
So one more question.
Pardon me?
So one more question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So it's not related specifically to the incentive schemes as such, but the amount which we get as incentives. Have you come across any practical experience where where government is asking some indirect taxes on such incentives received as such?
Means you are talking from income tax point of view?
Not income tax point of view, from indirect tax point of view. Like I am aware of one such scheme, like industrial promotion scheme, wherein VAT amount was getting refunded and excise department had asked that this incentive amount should be added in the assessable value and then excise duties to be charged. So are there like practical experiences like which you have like come across with your clients where any incentive which has been received from the government and VAT department or excise department or service tax department is asking to pay duty on the same.
Miss, in a way, you are asking as regards to tax treatment of these incentives under GST Act.
Not GST Act. I just wanted to know if any like practical notice or practical case, if you've received anywhere, department is asking.
There are different
But normally
opinions,
this,
basically there are different opinions in this regard. If you're talking from the point of view of income tax, nowadays, obviously there are settled case laws that you are supposed to take this amount as an income.
huh,
Because previously there was view that since this particular benefit has been given on the basis of investment of fixed assets, the amount of incentive should be reduced from fixed asset only, and depreciation on reduced amount can be calculated. That was one of the prevailing view. And second school of thought was that since this amount has been given even on the basis of say investment in plant and machinery, but it was linked to your performance, say production. So that particular amount should be taken as an income. However, the Supreme Court has given verdicts in number of cases, and now the case is settled on, as far as I am aware, from income tax point of view, that this amount should be taken under income. Okay. Now, once that amount has been taken as an income, then whether GST or indirect taxes as applicable are means rather should we levy those taxes on that one or not? This is also a question of rather interesting question that we should check out. Whether this particular amount is covered under GST, means whether GST will be, I think it will be covered. But we'll have to,
We can just invite Sunil Vakharia sir into the discussion on
yes,
this
if
subject.
Sunil is there, he is the
Yeah, Sunil is there.
He is authority. He can guide us on this regard.
These amounts are received. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
please.
As far as income tax is concerned, I will not touch that income tax. But GST, under the VAT at least, there was no case that they have treated these receipts as a taxable amount under VAT. But I don't know about excise, because she is mentioning some excise people have done those top things. But in VAT, there was no such thing which has happened till today. And in GST also, I don't think that there will be any possibility, because under which clause it will be fitted into, because there is no service rendered or no sale of goods, neither the sale nor the service is provided. Then how it will be treated as a taxable amount under GST? That is the question.
No, sir. In this case, she is asking for sale of this electricity to electricity consumers, and it is not a captive power consumption. In that case, she is asking for.
No, electricity is anyway tax-free. Sale electricity is not taxable under GST law.
Okay.
It is exempt.
Okay. It is outright out of question.
It is out of question. So, though I don't know what was provision in excise, but under VAT Act as well as GST Act, electricity is not taxable commodity. Though it is a commodity, but it is not taxable commodity.
Okay.
I think there was a separate provision for that electricity plant, because ultimately their sale is not taxable. There are so many provisions under VAT Act. Their purchases were liable at 4% only if they purchase the machineries also under VAT Act. They were given a concession, power plants, because their ultimate amount was not taxable, realization.
Okay. And Sunil, can you please throw some light as from income tax point of view?
Income tax, actually, I am not aware about exact provision today, but before amendment, the capital subsidy under PSI scheme, though quantum is linked to plant and investment in plant and machinery and building, it was not for the purpose of plant and machinery and building. It was for the purpose of your setting up the unit in backward area.
Correct.
And it was always treated that this subsidy is a capital receipt and not taxable. As far as other subsidies, that is industrial promotion, you get it from CDB for putting up plant and machinery, or a specific subsidy, which was to be reduced from the cost of that asset for claiming depreciation.
Mhm.
Or I have some examples. I have a cold storage plant where we got both subsidies, central or state. State subsidy, we have put it into capital account. And central subsidy, which was directly linked to the investment and not for the purpose of setting up the unit, we have reduced it from the plant and machinery, cost of the assets. And we are claiming reduced depreciation on that. And two scrutinies were happened for that under income tax, and we were successful.
Okay, so it has not been disclosed as income part.
No,
Neither
it
of the
is- Hey,
neither of the benefits.
After amendments, I am not talking about after amendments. I am not aware about exactly after amendment. I am talking about before amendments.
Pre-amendment.
We have central subsidy, we have reduced from plant and machinery, cost of plant and machinery. And subsidy under PSI scheme, we have put it into capital reserve.
Okay.
Not made taxable, because state subsidy is always for to put unit, to encourage entrepreneur to put his unit in a backward area. It is only quantum is linked to investment.
That is a basis of calculation.
Yeah, right. Correct.
We'll have to
I
check
think,
out as regards.
for example, in case of solar units, there is direct subsidy on that solar panels. So the subsidy what is received can be reduced from the cost of the solar panels.
Yeah, normally it
As
should be.
simple as that. Even this accounting standard on fixed asset also covers this aspect, I think.
Yeah, Mahavir, but I think before 2-3 years, there was some amendment in income tax. This I am not exactly aware about that as of now.
Okay.
We'll have to research on that part. We'll have to research.
Just the LPG subsidy what we get is not taxable in our hands. That is clear.
This is something different.
Yeah, this is something different, but I'm just talking about the subsidies
This
part.
expenditure, you are nowhere claiming that expenditure.
Yes.
When you are not claiming any expenditure, then how can it is reduced price? It is the subsidy is a reduced price, and that is your personal expenditure and personal receipts.
Yes.
That's why it is not taxable.
Correct.
But some plant is receiving any gas subsidy, definitely that will reduce this cost.
Yes,
Yes.
that will be for industrial operation.
Industrial operation.
Yeah. Very
Anyone
good.
wants to have his point on this subject?
Hello, Santosh ji.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with Sunil sir, Sumit here. Actually, there is always a differentiation between a capital receipt and a revenue receipt. So I also have a case whereby my client also had this PSI incentive, and we did not provide that in the balance sheet because, as you said, claiming of that may take 1 or 2 years. But while drafting the balance sheet, some officers also do give recognition to provide on a due basis. Like if my incentive is due on 31st March 20, then I should provide in balance sheet. But I say that as per accounting standard, I recognize income on recognition basis. Or as said that capital, it is a capital receipt. I reduce it from the fixed asset. So that remains sometimes really a question that which the officers may take different views.
I do have another point to add in this case, that on what basis we are going to recognize our subsidy receipt amount. So in this, the process that we have just discussed, there is one stage that we are being issued approval letters, means your claim approval letters, on the basis of which we can say that I am supposed to receive this particular amount in due course. Okay, and 85% of that amount will be given to me in first stage and 50% in second stage. So on the basis of that particular letter, if we want to recognize these receivables in our accounts, then it can be done. But just on the basis of that EC or eligibility certificate that you are supposed to get this much amount on the basis of just calculation, paper calculation, it won't suffice the matter, or that is not the correct thing, because this is just annual ceiling cap, which is a notional cap, and our actual amount of receipt on account of subsidy will be linked to our actual performance, which is going to happen in over a period of years. There might be some deductions or some other cuttings that they may make. There are a number of issues or say rules regulations on the basis of which they may deduct some amount. So actual amount that we are going to get will be a rather different one than what we are going to see as per notional calculation. So at that time, when we are going to receive that claim approval letter, we'll be in a position to say that yes, this is the exact amount that I am going to get, and this is the best for that one. In that particular year in which we have received this claim approval letter, we can book our receivables with certainty on accrual basis.
Santoshji,
Yes, please, please.
I want to add something. See, previously, before 20 years, there was a huge time gap between actual sanction and actual receipt.
Yes.
One point of time, so WMD seed subsidy was receiving after 5 years after sanction.
Correct.
In that case, you can safely, now, though that was a capital subsidy, but in such type of cases, when you are not getting amount really in earlier period, means it is taking time to get actual time. Can we, recognition of our subsidy, can we postpone it? Because suppose it is a revenue subsidy and we recognize it immediately, then that there is a tax implication immediately. But if you are getting it after 2-3 years and paying tax today, I think if there is a reasonable ground that there, though it is sanctioned, but there is an uncertainty of getting that amount, we can postpone recognition of same in the accounts with suitable disclosures. Though if suppose you are getting it in 1 year or 2 years, 1 year, then it is okay. But if it is not certain that you will get it after when you will get it, then recognition can be deferred.
Okay. Should I add something in this case?
Yeah.
There are 2-3 issues in this regard. First of all, the time lapse in between the that time on which this claim approval claim has been letter of approval has been issued to us, and the actual date or actual time in which we are going to get that subsidy has been reduced to, I would say, 4 to 6 months from that previous period of about, say, 5 years. Okay, now it has been substantially improved, and that lapse has been reduced to hardly, say, 6 months to 8 months. First of all, this is the issue, and this is on practical ground. Second one, as far as our concept is concerned, when we had been issued that particular claim sanction letter, we are certain that we are going to get this benefit, and the amount of benefit is also specifically mentioned in that particular letter. So as far as confirmation of getting of that amount is sure, amount is confirmed. So as per our accounting standards, at the point of time when we are going to get we are having that confirmation about receipt of amount and amount has been determined, we should account on accrual basis that amount in our books of accounts. This is our normal concept. Now it is the convenience of the auditee, then when he should book, means on actual receipt or on the basis of just receipt of that claim approval letter. Now it is a kind of what I'm thinking is a kind of convenience. So to that extent, my views are somewhat different one.
No, it is okay. If it is you're getting it within 5-6 months, then on the basis of approval you can recognize, no issue.
Yes.
But are you recognizing it in the year for which you are claiming, or are you recognizing it on the basis of letter?
No, on the basis of letter, we should recognize it in our.
Then it is okay, no? This letter may be for 1920, you are getting into, suppose, say, in December
2021.
December 20. So 2021 you recognize it, because by the time you are signing the audit balance sheet, you must have received that amount.
Possibly.
But for, I think, claiming this benefit, you need to submit audited balance sheets first, and then you need to submit your claim.
This is for previous periods that we are talking about. Suppose for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, we are getting claim sanction letter in 1920, and actual amount of receipt of that claim is in 2021, within, say, next 8 months. So that we are talking about. Say for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, we are getting subsidy, actual subsidy in December 20, say financial 2021.
So I will further expand it, Santosh. Yes. For Mahavir, I will further expand. It is a subsidy of 1920. It is sanctioned in December 20 and received in May 21.
No, sir. In this case, obviously, if it is for 1920, to submit your claims only, rather February 21 will appear. then those claims will be processed over a period of say next 6 to 8 months. So possibly by the time you are going to get your claim approval letter, a time period of about 1.5 years has lapsed after completion of your financial year.
Then what? When it should be recognized in the books?
No, we are discussing about different issue. Whatever claim approval letters we have received during this financial year, for which year those are belonging, for which previous year those are belonging, that is not the issue. Once I am getting this claim approval letter, even say for financial year 15-16 or 16-17, as of now, I will recognize that much amount only for that those approval letters which are in my hand.
That's what now means. When you receive the approval letter, irrespective of the year, you will recognize in that year receipt.
Yes, in the year of receipt of letter.
Yeah, right. Correct.
Correct.
It's most prudent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Obviously, because by that time I am certain that I am going to get benefit. This, first of all, this is very important, that I am going to get benefit, and second thing, to what extent. So two things are sure: assurance of receipt and amount of receipt. Any other views in this case on this point?
I think there are no other queries. Thank you, Santosh Doshi sir, for coming to JCF platform and delivering a wonderful. Is it okay, no, sir?
I'm just digesting these words. I'm just digesting.
You said thank you for JCF platform, so it's my duty to now respond you back.
JCF platform and the whole of my colleagues, friends, dearer and nearer ones. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Actually, you guided us very well. History of the subsidies, class, sectors, categories, then the thirst area, focus areas, eligibility, competition, procedure, everything you explained so well. Even this women entrepreneurship policy, I don't think anybody was aware of these things before. So it was just wonderful, and you are guided through this unknown terrain of industrial subsidies. Yes, sir.
Just I wanted to add one point. Many times it happens that in CP study circles or in CP study courses we are going and we are just checking out what are the technical parts of this subsidy. But I just wanted to cover what is the practical aspect of this subsidy related issue, means how it is calculated, how it is linked with our locations, and what is the exact format of that LUD certificate, which are the terms and conditions. Because yesterday itself one issue has been discussed with me by one of my another client. He wanted to install a vertical farming unit. Okay, now issue was where he should farm. That was first of all issue. Okay, so planning of our location, from that point it started. Then which activity for which benefit is entitled. Vertical farming is just part of, or say, a different type of farming. Instead of say horizontal farming on earth, it is a vertical farming based on micronutrients, and soil-less farming is there. But for that particular purpose, we are not getting benefit under this subsidy scheme. So I had to explain him what is the basic purpose, which are the products which are covered, and third thing, as far as particularly he was concerned about what are the terms conditions with which he will be binded with government for next say about 14-15 years. So the disclosure of that EC part and as well as those terms conditions was crucial from my point of view to understand, means so that we all chartered accountants will be well aware that these are the terms conditions which are inbuilt one, and party will get fixed with these particular terms conditions for next 14 years or 15 years. While discussing with our clients, it will be useful for them also. So from that point of view, I have covered this practical aspects also. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You have just added value to bottom line of many of our clients.
Thank you. It was rather a good privilege for me to explain the things. And thank you for your patient hearing. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Have a good day to everyone.
Yes. Shall we end the meeting now?
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.